Hi, Meskwaki students. My name is Delonda Pushituniqua. I am a high school business teacher at the Meskwaki Settlement School. I've had a long journey to where I am today. Actually wasn't sure of what I wanted to do when I graduated high school. I just know that my parents said I had to get an education, that I was going to college. It didn't matter what I was doing as long as I was going to college. So I went to college and, got my AA degree and thought I would go into something else. And turns out I didn't like that. So I switched majors to business. And then along the way, the school here started being built. So then I decided to be a teacher. So I'm a business teacher now, had a few other jobs, but this is my career, a high school business teacher. I would encourage everybody to get an education of some sort, whether it's a college or certificate or training as a electrician, carpenter, welder, like anything, because those skills are things that you can use in your life that nobody can take away from you, and you can carry it with you throughout your life. And going through all the education and training I have has, brought me to where I am today. It's allowed me to have a lot of opportunities throughout my life. I never thought I would be in education for 17 years now. But here I am. The most important skills that you need to have is showing up. Like, you have to be there, whether it's in school or a job or whatever it is that you dedicate your time to. You need to show up every day on time and be prepared to work, because those are the things that employers are looking for. Those are the things that you need to succeed. If you're not there, you can't do your job. If you don't work hard, you're not going to get anything done. So work hard, show up, be on time, have a positive attitude, be polite. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because when you're going into your career or you're going into college or you're going into your training, you're not going to know everything. And even now, I don't know everything, and I'm still learning, and I'll probably continue to learn for the rest of my life. So be willing to learn, be willing to ask questions. Don't give up. And remember that goals take time. It takes years and years and years of practice and training to become good at something. So just because you try something and you're not good at it doesn't mean that you won't be in the future. It took me 10 years to get my first bachelor's degree. With having a kid and moving and started my new program, it took 10 years. So it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be done with school in 4 years or 2 years or whatever. You take your journey, you do your path is however long it takes you to get there, as long as you still get there. So set your goals, keep moving, keep working, and you can do whatever you want to do. You can be who you want to be. And I believe in you, and I'm proud of everything that you have done so far. And it's our dream for you to be who you are in the future.
Hello, my name is Mr. Darren Durhammer. I am a third grade teacher. I've been involved with education since I was a little boy. My parents were both teachers. My dad taught PE in the schools in Elkader for over almost 35 years. My mom taught special ed at Starmont for almost 30 years. And so I just kind of followed in their footsteps. Education is very important. You need it to be able to pass any kind of boundaries that may be there. It opens up a lot of doors. I recommend at least trying to go into either a trade school or a four-year institution, because that's going to open more doors. Just my own son, he doesn't care for school, but he loves working on engines and working with cars, and he's at the Des Moines Area Community College learning how to be a mechanic. My oldest daughter is a pastor. She had a four-year degree from the University of Northern Iowa. And my youngest daughter didn't care for college, but she's now a veterinarian technician, and she had a few hours worth of education, so she's got a very successful job down in Des Moines also. Being able to introduce yourself is a very important skill. Being able to relate and make sure you read the body cues, because everybody has a certain body cue. If they're angry, they're upset. You just need to make sure that you're not stepping on toes. Other than that, stay in school, enjoy, because, how to put this, adult life comes too quick. So enjoy your time here, but make sure you learn all you can. Thank you.
My name is Felicia Bible, and I am a music educator at Meskwaki Settlement School. Growing up, my teachers were my biggest influence in my life, and I really wanted to become an educator and help change lives like they did. I was pushed away from the thought of education from many individuals in my life, but I felt in my heart that it was what I truly wanted to do. And so I decided to continue on with education. I encourage students to go into what it is that they truly feel like they think they'll love at the end of the day. I know that every time that I go home from work, I don't feel like I'm coming home from work. I feel like it's just a continuation of my life, and know that I've enjoyed every moment of it, of the ups and the downs. At the end of the day, my life's purpose is being fulfilled, and I feel like that's how every person should feel at the end of the day, is that life's purpose is what you're trying to achieve. I feel that's important to have soft skills because it allows others to know the seriousness that you have in regards to your profession. If you're showing that punctuality, that attendance, it shows that you care about the meaning and the purpose of the organization and that you want to help see it improve. And then in response to that, you usually get more opportunities to better yourself, better the community, and there's respect that's given back to you. So, and oftentimes you'll get, if you give respect, you earn respect. Go for what you dream to do. Absolutely. Do whatever it is that your heart is content with. And if you're doing that, you will find a way to get there, regardless of what anyone else says or does. If you are absolutely passionate about doing something, do everything you possibly can to make it happen.
Good morning. My name is Meskwaki Settlement Brown. I work here at Meskwaki High School as athletic director. I guess I'll just share a personal story why I chose to pursue education. Growing up, I was told that I'd be just like the rest of the people here on the settlement. That I probably wouldn't go anywhere. I probably wouldn't do anything. I'd probably get into alcohol and drugs. And I didn't feel like I wanted to be that type of person. It wasn't my personality, so I kind of wanted to prove that person wrong in a sense, not just for them, but also for myself, because I knew I just felt like I had more to offer and that I could do something better, so that's why I chose to pursue to go on to college and obtain my degree, Bachelor of Science degree. I would encourage students to pursue education because it opens so many doors and opportunities. Once you do receive your diplomas and get your education, there are really no boundaries. The only boundaries are what you set for yourself. You just got to make a choice. It comes down to choice, basically, is the key. Whatever you choose to do, as long as you keep making choices, that impact you in a positive way, you can do anything. And the world is open, for you to take control and do what you want to do.
Hi, my name is Shanda Spiker. I am a teacher assistant on the middle school, high school side. What I can share about this is I ended up leaving my home at the age of 14. I ended up finding a roommate, and at the age of 16, after bouncing from couch to couch, I ended up living with a roommate for 4 years. I put myself through high school. I had to work full time. Some days were very hard. Some days it was hard to even get up because I had to work. And there's some days I didn't have food. School was not the way it is now. We did not get food, free lunches. The hardest part was not having support, not having someone to say to you, you can do this, you've got it. And I didn't have the support at school either. I didn't have teachers saying, you can do this, you've got this. It was more, you're tardy all the time. You're not getting your homework in on time instead of thinking of things that you now have. All of us at the school appreciate every single one of you and want all of you to succeed. And that is something that I truly value here. And I hope that you see it too, because education is truly important. I did graduate. I did not go on to college. The reason being is I chose to have a family. I stayed home and I raised my 4 boys. Since my children are all graduated from high school, I have now started working here, and I went on and received my paraeducation degree. It has helped me to realize that I still have learning myself. I enjoy working at the high school because I know that all of you can succeed and do this as well. With help, you're gonna make it. And I appreciate every one of you. And as far as knowing what your next steps in life are gonna be, if you just put in 100% now, it's all gonna come together. I never intended on having children or getting married at the age of 22, and everything has worked out for me. And it can absolutely work out for you if you put in the effort.
Okay, my name's Francisco Lassie Santos. I work for the Meskwaki Settlement School, and I do maintenance and utilities. I guess my personal sovereignty story is coming out of high school. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do here. But I knew that I liked working with my hands. So I kind of dabbled in like a little bit of construction, odd jobs, like demolition work and stuff like that. But I think I found I like it here because you do a bunch of different things that could be, I don't know, maybe changing a light one day or working on a little bit of plumbing one day or cutting grass, just different stuff like that. Kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit. It's not worth it to drop out. You're just going to lose all that time and experience that you could spend working on a craft or something that you find interesting, you know. And it's not worth it to lose all that time, and when you could have been doing something way more productive. Well, definitely when you're working like in a job like this, you got to be able to communicate with the teachers and the staff, and like even when like maybe communication can kind of break down, that's when you have to like go and check in with other people and make sure so that you can move forward and like you won't have like these hiccups and stuff as you go along with whatever your job is. Where would I be if I didn't graduate? Not doing anything good, that's for sure. Probably just sitting around being a lump. So definitely stay in school. Or if you don't think school is for you, there's always trades, you know. School isn't the end all be all. If you like working with your hands, that could be something that you go into. If you do want to get into the trades, the apprenticeship program would actually be a good place to start. It's right here. You don't got to drive too far. You don't got to drive like an hour to some other city or something like that. So yeah.
Ho si beyond the dishes and the messes. Hello, my name is Gia Brownbear and I work here at the school. My official title is Language Resource Developer. I come from an era where we saw a lot of the riots, the shutdowns, when people would rebel against the system or whatever the government wanted. I would encourage students to pursue an education because it will help them in the future. It will help our people and it will help you grow as an individual. When you go to higher education, you do have some form of speech. In my classes, I started having my students introduce themselves, and that's a way for them to get used to being in front of other people. So they'll be accustomed to that, I guess. You need to be punctual, be on time, whatever you do, that's important. Just tell the kids, do what they can, try their best, but keep trying, no matter what.
My name is Clyde Terrence, and I'm the 712 Meskwaki Settlement School principal. A personal sovereignty story. School was always a challenge for me. I think really where I kind of got myself woke up a little bit. My dad passed away my senior year in high school. I didn't have a lot of people that gave me a lot of encouragement or gave me a lot of support. Set the bar pretty low for me. And I'm one of these type that I always like a challenge, and I always try exceeding that challenge. So I set my goals high, I set my expectations high. But that's how I've been able to achieve, because I'm one of these ones that if someone tells me, no, you can't do it, I will dig, scratch, whatever I need to do to achieve my goal. Why education is so important is because education is your foundation. The more you know, the more you're able to relate to other people throughout the world from different cultures, languages. It just gives you a chance to understand past of history. So either we repeat history or we don't repeat history. We're constantly trying to work on that. Why soft skills? I think soft skills is probably the major part. I know our emphasis since I've been here has been relationship building. Relationship building, I would say, is probably majority of anybody's job anymore. Is how do you relate to other people? How do you communicate with other people? How do you, as far as establish eye contact? How do you enjoy and be kind at your job? Those are all soft skills that maybe if you're struggling in various other things, as far as with your schoolwork or homework, having soft skills are the things that will encourage people to keep trying harder and harder, and those be skills that people will enjoy working with you because of your personality and your background. And I think we're looking at that right now with the different direction that we're showing the students here at Meskwaki, to a point of exposing a lot of different careers, not just making kids aware of Meskwaki language and culture here on the settlement, but also preparing our students for the world if they were to leave here to go to college and those type of things. But I think we're doing some great things and exposing our kids to a lot of things that they're ready for the challenge, either here on the settlement or when they go to college.
Hi, I'm Amy Bradley. I'm a 5th grade teacher here at Meskwaki Settlement School. I am half Meskwaki, half Caucasian. I wanted to share my experience as far as getting to my role as an educator here at Meskwaki Settlement School. I got into UNI and I went to the University of Northern Iowa. My major was secondary education in social sciences, to be a high school social studies teacher. When I started college, it was difficult. Obviously, you have to be responsible for yourself to get yourself to class. Also, financially. I was able to get most of my education paid for through higher education, and I was also receiving Pell Grants. A woman at the University of Northern Iowa also sought me out, and since I was a minority, gave me a $1,000 scholarship each semester while I was going there. So that covered a lot of my expenses. I did have to take out some loans to cover the cost of my living expenses, so that helped tremendously. But as far as the classes went, my hardest class was probably my math class. So that's where my words of encouragement are going to lead to. If you are a struggling learner, you have definitely got to find ways to ask for help from either your teachers or your classmates or your peers or your friends or family to help you with some of those skill sets you're not very strong with, because I did not want to ask anybody at UNI to help me with that math class. And ultimately, I think I ended up getting like a C or D. Please just try to make sure you ask when you can, where you're comfortable. So if you're going here at Meskwaki Settlement School, ask your teachers, ask your friends, ask anyone, Could be someone, it could be me. You could come back and ask me as if I was your 5th grade teacher to help you get through, because I don't want you to have to feel like I did when you get to those big classrooms at a college and feel alone and feel like you can't do it or fail or end up not being able to do well because you don't know the right people to ask for help. And I did end up completing my degree later in life at another college in education through Buena Vista University. So that's my other advice. Try to know what you want to do before you start college, because you may have to take that route later on in life and things get in the way. So I was a new mom and I had just gotten married, so I was attending college again later in life as an adult, as a first-time mom, as a new wife, working full-time here at Meskwaki Settlement School too, and that's not easy either. Try to know what you want to do as a young adult so that you can enjoy your time in college while you're a youth and not have to worry about all of those adult skills and lives and things we have to have, like paying bills and, taking care of children. So take your time when you're young to be able to make the right decisions when you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. College is expensive, so you can't always just be like, well, I don't know if I'm want to do this anymore and then quit and then go back, because it's each time you go, it adds up, those expenses, and your debt will keep accumulating. So like you can't keep making those decisions if you're not sure. So that, again, make sure you're asking the right people when you're in high school, when you're thinking about going into the college track. Make sure you're talking to the right people, and make sure you have a plan. You've got to have some plans and some goals in order to fulfill those dreams that you're probably thinking about. But if you don't have a plan, you're going to get sidetracked some way or another. Take your time, enjoy your youth, have a plan, have a goal, and you should be successful.
Hello, my name is Sylvana Levere-Jazib. I am the HR manager for the Meskwaki Settlement School. I grew up in Mayetta, Kansas. I'm from the Prairie Band Potawatomi Reservation. I had alcoholic parents, or they had their own difficulties growing up, so I was adopted by my grandparents. That always motivated me because I am a middle child, and I've always had to take care of my younger siblings and my cousins. I always wanted better for them, so I always knew that in turn I would essentially have to be the provider for my family. But also, I wanted them to have the skills for themselves to be able to take care of themselves, because, like growing up, I was always told by my grandparents, I'm not always going to be here, and that is kind of scary to think about. So I always try to make myself be prepared as much as possible. I try to learn as much as I can, so that's kind of why I want to encourage students to pursue education in anything, may it be regular school setting, technical setting, learning how to fix car, electrician, learning how to build furniture, anything. Once you learn those skills, you have them for the rest of your life, and you can always pass it on to somebody else. Basically, pursue education. My elders always told me that once you receive your education, that nobody can take it away from you. Why is it important to possess soft skills? Introducing yourself, punctuality, you open yourself up to new avenues, you start building relationships, then you learn more about yourself and you learn more about others at the same time. Just continue learning. I am still a learner to this day, and I still want to pursue myself to get a master's degree.
My name is Darian Murray, and I work as a culture TA here at the Meskwaki Settlement School. One of the first struggles is I didn't prepare very well for college when I first went. Before that, people would ask me what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, and I kind of gave them answers. I think I'll go to college and I'll go to school. But I wasn't really serious about it at the time. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet. I kind of had an idea, but I didn't prepare very well, so when I went, I had to pay for a lot of it out of pocket. That was one of my bigger struggles, was paying for college financially. Went to Iowa State. Didn't really feel like it was for me there at the time. Plus, I didn't have the money to pay for it completely at the time, so I couldn't sign up for classes again. After that, I was kind of just working jobs, figuring out if schooling was really even for me. Another thing was motivation, whether I wanted to keep going to school or not. And I eventually did it because I thought, if I don't get an education, the opportunities that I want to pursue, won't be there. So I ended up going back to school, went to MCC, went back again for civil engineering. And as I went through there, I started figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like about college, and I started kind of slowly, gradually changing. After going to school, I had a job for a while at the casino. Left there, ended up coming to school because I thought, it would be something that would be more to my liking. And the longer I've been here, the more I've really enjoyed it. And I think going forward, especially if I'm going to finish out my 4-year degree, I think it would be in education or something related to education at this point, because it's something that I do enjoy. That was one of my big struggles. I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wasn't prepared for when I did go to college. Well, there's a lot of kids I know who don't know what they want to do, don't know if they want to go to school, if they want to try any of these opportunities that are ahead of them. Sometimes it might be that they don't know it. They just gotta try. It's not, you never truly know what you want to do until you've at least tried it. And if you're not going to go out there and try new things and see what the world has to offer for you, then you're not going to find that thing that you want. I hear a lot of I don't knows, a I'm not sure. And I was one of those kids. And now that I've actually been out here and doing different things, for 7 years since high school has been out, I have an idea of what I want to do. And I truly think that if you aren't sure, just to keep broadening your horizons. You got all kinds of different things you can try, whether it's in the community or whether it's, outside of here. You never know until you try. So you have to, whatever you do, you got to give it your best effort. And that's how you find the things that you want to do in life.
Ho, Wasusa Nedashis. My name is Leah Slick Driscoll, and I teach high school history, Indigenous studies, sociology, psychology, government. I first came to work at Meskwaki in 2009 after graduating from the University of Iowa. My personal sovereignty story is that I actually went to college to study something entirely different. And while I was at college, I took an Indigenous studies class for the very first time. And after 2 weeks, my professor happened to be Native. She was Choctaw from Oklahoma. I went to a high school that was 99% white, and I never got to learn my own history, history of Native people. And so that experience at college was transformational for me. And the next thing that I wondered is, do the students at my tribal high school, do they get to learn their own history in their mainstream social studies class? And after doing some research, I found at that time that they weren't learning a lot of Native history or Native current events and current social issues. And so I decided to change my major to social studies education and history. And I ended up graduating with an Indigenous studies degree as well. When I came to teach here, that was a very pivotal moment for me personally, because I got to work with students and just ensuring that they learned Meskwaki history. That's a really, really important part of their identity. And so sovereignty for us as a nation, to me, that means having an educated student body who are going to grow into healthy, positive adults who will have goals and achieve them and come back and strengthen our community and, make opportunities for other young Meskwakis coming up. So that is how I think that, what I try to do here at the school in teaching history, teaching Indigenous studies, but teaching just every social studies subject will help my students to maintain the sovereignty that we have here. How would I encourage students to pursue education? I think it's valuable to have a Native person who struggled when they were a child and struggled with some of the same situations that a few of our students also struggle with, and to know that they're not defined by that they can make choices and they can have big dreams and they can achieve them. So I'm very honest with my students about some of the struggles that I had as a child, and I had amazing grandparents who loved me and raised my sisters and I, and one of the things that was most important to them, even though they had never graduated from high school, was for their grandchildren and children to go to college. So with their love and encouragement, my sisters and I did graduate and move into professional careers. And so that's a story that I like to share with my students so that they can also dream big dreams. And I like to help them, write college letters and encourage them to go to colleges and experience the opportunities there, even when they're still in high school. The impression that you make on other people and the positive relationships you have with other people really define how far you'll get in life. People can be very, very intelligent and they can be very skilled in their field, but if they don't have the social skills to show up on time, to show up each day, and to have good relationships with other people, to have a great work ethic, then they really can't they've wasted their talents because these other soft skills are holding them back or hurting them or maybe even causing them to be fired. So that's a really, really important job that we have in our families and in our schools to try to help young people develop those skills for success and for them to maintain control over that so that they can have, they can achieve all of their goals. As hard as you're willing to work, you can plan for whatever you want to achieve, and as long as you're setting goals for yourself and you're working towards that each day, there really is nothing that's out of your reach if you believe in yourself and you're working towards that goal each day.
Hi, I'm Tracy Sinknick. I'm a TA at Meskwaki Settlement School, and I also coach track and cross country. When I came to Meskwaki, I was contacted. They were looking for somebody to come out here that they thought would fit in to the Meskwaki Settlement School. I least expected the call, and I didn't realize what a great opportunity it was until I arrived. And to be able to work with the kids and see them succeed, and to see the great performances in athletics that I've been able to experience has just been fun for me. So that tells you that out of the unexpected, something great can happen to you and something very rewarding can happen to you. I did have an education, so I was fortunate that when they did contact me, I had all the credentials that I needed to come here. I loved going to college. Everybody needs to experience college at least for a semester to a year and then decide, is this for me or isn't it for me? But it was for me. College lets you meet people, it lets you go to another level of education, and there's a lot of people there to help you to succeed. When you do go out and start looking for a job or pursuing a college, make sure that you have everything ready and able to express who you are. For instance, like, what are your interests for college? Have your name, have everything about you. Make sure you make a resume of yourself, even if you were all conference track, if you were on National Honor Society, if you were part of the drama club. Those are all things that a college looks at. Those are things that a job looks at because they realize you're an organized person, that you follow through and you can handle more than one thing at a time. Those are very important. Sometimes you think, who wants to know if I was on the drama team or the speech team or if I was part of a track team? They do want to know. They want to know all about you. And you can't believe how that helps them decide, I want you to be part of this college or this job.
Hi, my name is Jim Plants. I'm the industrial tech teacher here at MSS. The key is don't give up in whatever you're doing. Education is important, but education is not just a university. Education is not just a college. Education is everything you do every day. Keep your eyes and your ears open because you always are learning. At my age, at 66, I'm still learning a lot every day. But persistence, don't give up. Look towards something, make goals, plan, think about what you could do. Develop options. If this doesn't work, I could do this. If that doesn't work, I could do that. Look at your interest and try to build on what you have as far as your interest when you do that. You treat people like you want to be treated and you will get that back. You get a lot more by being kind than by being mean or deceitful with a lot of things that you do. The settlement offers a tremendous amount of opportunities, and that's the key. They're saying that young people will go through 7 or 8 different types of occupations from the start to the finish of their careers. So opportunities are the key. And when somebody gives you that opportunity, be respectful, be punctual, be on time, respect people for what they gave you. Give them the best you got. Let your actions show, not your words. Like I said, I wanted out of school so bad after 8th grade and after high school. And then now I'm sitting here and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm 66 years old and I think, okay, I've been in school since kindergarten and I haven't left yet. So, I mean, it's not all that bad. And I'm not saying this is the only thing out there, but if you like what you're doing and you enjoy it, and I do, I enjoy the main part of this whole situation, and that's being with the kids that are here on the settlement. So I thank you for this time.
Hello, my name is Leandra and I'm the high school secretary. I'll just share a little bit about how I got where I am today. I grew up on a reservation. If anybody has ever lived on a reservation, they know that there's many obstacles that you have to overcome. I guess it's kind of like here where grandparents take care of their kids, and it's a lot of family that helps with children there. I myself grew up most of my life without my parents. So at a young age, I learned how to do things on my own. When I got to middle school age, I went out, I got a job, I started working, and I started helping to provide for my siblings. I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother, and I help provide for all three of them and myself. If there's anybody out there who's going through the same thing, you're not alone. What I want to say is anything that you're doing to try to improve yourself, your situation that you're in, it's always going to be enough unless you quit. Don't quit. There's always a brighter side to everything.
Hi, I'm Brent Bible. I work here at Meskwaki Settlement School. I am the shop supervisor over the bus barn. So how I got here, well, it's a long story, but I've worked in fast food, I've farmed, and I've also been a CNC machinist, and now I'm in maintenance. There were a lot of obstacles and a lot of changes along the route I took. But one thing that is important is to stay positive and to work hard. And as long as you do those two things, you'll be a successful person in life, and just don't give up.
I am Loretta Martzel, and I am the 7 through 12 school counselor. To understand a bit of my personal sovereignty story, you have to understand a little bit of my background, which includes being a high school dropout. I only have 3 months of a high school education, and I became a mom when I was 15. In between all of that and even further on, I drifted in and out of unhealthy relationships because that was my norm and that's what I knew. So through education, I found my voice, and I found that I was able to have choices in my life that I didn't have before. Education to me means everything. It has given me the freedom to grow, to be the person that I am, and to be able to help others who have gone through and are going through their own struggles. How I would encourage somebody who wanted to go to college or to obtain their education would be to ask a lot of questions. I am a first-generation college student in my family, meaning nobody had gone to college prior to me, and so I was really new at a system that is unfortunately not always easy to navigate. So I asked a lot of questions, and I was willing to accept help, even though that wasn't necessarily my nature to do so. I just tried. I didn't know whether I would be successful as a college student, but I had to start somewhere. And for me, my journey was going through, well, first of all, obtaining my HiSET. Back when I received it, it was considered the GED, or General Education Diploma. Then it took me 10 years to complete my first Associate of Arts degree, which is just a 2-year degree, but I was in and out of classes, being a single mother, raising my family. And then I obtained my Bachelor of Science degree. And then from there, I went on to obtain 2 master's degrees. Why is it important to possess soft skills and an education? I think that the soft skills, which include being able to know how to introduce yourself, and really it all boils down to communication and punctuality. Knowing how to communicate with others helps give you the ability to network through others and obtain opportunities for job positions. But then it's also being successful in those positions you find yourself in. I also think education is so important because it provides a sense of security, or at least for me it has, not only financial security, but personal security in knowing that I have confidence that I didn't have before, and making me feel comfortable that I can interact with others and be able to engage in higher level conversations. So I encourage each and every one of you to stay the course and find the path that fits you best for your future.
Hi, my name is Bida Sikwe. My English name is Eva Kiana. I'm the Meskwaki High School registrar. I have always told my kids, it was really important that you get your high school diploma. Back in the day, it was that where GED wasn't enough, but now GED is very important if you can't reach your high school diploma with your credits. But you have to have one of those in order to even get a job, even like at McDonald's or something. But now, if you want a good paying job, you have to have some kind of diploma or working towards that diploma. I encourage to at least get your associate's degree into something. To develop soft skills, that's more like you're being professional. Like today, I'm not being so professional. I'm not dressed to be at work, but usually I dress like with casual clothes and talking to people. You have to have customer service no matter where you are. Being on time is really important. And as anybody knows, I'm like one of those people. I'm like 5 minutes late, but I'm there. And talking to everybody, you got to know your manners too. You got to say please and thank you, or ask politely. Don't just assume that somebody's going to do it for you, because you can't just tell somebody to do something for you. You have to earn it. You have to earn their respect, and you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. I would encourage the student to be a leader. You don't have to specifically be a leader of a big group, but more like you should do things that you want to do on your own even. You don't have to do it because other kids are doing it. Just do it because you want to do it. And enjoy life. Don't have to follow all your friends to wherever they go, but you do the things that makes your heart happy.
Wasa Amuk from Thunder Clan, and I've been the director of Meskwaki Higher Education since 2016. I've had a lot of positions before in different colleges and universities, everything from director of Indian Student Services to academic dean at a tribal college to instructor. And it's been a really good experience to be able to do those things, but more especially because I have worked with Native students all along the way. My personal sovereignty story has to do with working through a lot of challenges in life and staying the course. They say you go to school for 4 years. Well, I did my bachelor's degree in 6. I left for a semester and went to work out in California, came back, and then when I was back, I didn't have a lot of money, so I worked and went to school part-time, and that's how I finished my bachelor's degree. Later, I was able to attend a master's program at Penn State University, and so realizing that working for Native tribes and working with Native people helped me to fulfill my role of what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in this life. Encouraging students to move forward with their education, and there's a lot of opportunities that are out there after you get done with high school. Sleeping on a couch or staying in a basement of your parents' house should not be your option. It should not be a dream to do that. Yes, we might want to take a break for a while. Yes, we might want to hang out with our friends, which is fine. But make a plan for yourself to do something. Military, working, or going to school, or doing an apprenticeship program, or something. discover for yourself what it is that you want to do. And you might not even know what that is yet. But going to school is a good plan too, simply because you grow from it and you learn a lot about yourself and you start to understand the world in new ways because you get different perspectives, you get challenged, you get an opportunity to show what you know and all your learning, and you really get to have a lot of new friends. Putting in a plug for MHEP here, that we do provide funding to help you with your schooling. And the other thing is that a lot of people want to come back to their community and serve, and so that's a beautiful thing to see because it's something that's ingrained in us as people, and it's something that we want to do for our communities. Why is it important to possess soft skills? And soft skills are things like being able to go up and shake somebody's hand, asking questions, finding out things on your own without your parents being there to be the ones who do it for you, being on time to school, being on time to your classes, building even your study skills. Your education these days in colleges actually are those kinds that you no longer are just sitting in a lecture hall taking notes and then doing tests. In fact, a lot of classes now have you doing group work, helping each other out, reporting out. So that means that shyness is not an option, and being a part of a group may mean at times that you become the leader of that group to help move people forward with whatever project it is that they're doing, and keeping track of that, encouraging others, helping others along. You have it in you to do the best you can. And I see marvelous things happening here at this school. And I'm so excited to be able to quietly be a part of helping you to move forward in your educational pursuits, and hope that we see you up at MHEP upstairs here so that we can help you along. We're there to engage with you and make sure that you have what you need to be able to be in school. So we care a great deal about you. We want you to be successful in anything that you pursue. You have the world at your feet right now to do whatever it is that you want to do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda Russell, and I'm a special education teacher here. I do elementary, middle school, and high school, wherever they need me. This is my 34th year of teaching special education. My journey started 34 years ago. I always wanted to be a teacher, and then I found myself as a divorced single mom at age 22. And so when my daughter turned 1 year old, I decided to go back to college at Buena Vista in Marshalltown. And so I completed that and was fortunate to get my first teaching job up at Ackley, Geneva. And then I was encouraged to go on for my master's. And so I taught every day, and then I drove to UNI to take night classes, and then came home. It was hard having a little one at home. I'd put her to sleep and then do homework. And thank goodness for my family was my support. And I feel like everyone has a story, and just overcome what you grow up with or what falls into your journey. I never thought I'd be a 22-year-old single mom, and it just kind of made me want to persevere and achieve a lot. I went on and got my master's, and I'm here. This was always my dream job too. I retired from public school, and I wanted to come here after retirement from public school, and that's what I'm doing right now. I really want you guys to encourage you to go and fulfill your dreams, whether it's education, trade school. You guys are so fortunate to have the apprenticeship. I went back to college 3 years ago, so I would have been 59 years old. The school here needed a high school special ed teacher, and so I went back and got my degree or certification so I could teach at the high school here. Otherwise, I was just kindergarten through 8th grade. And so at 59 years old, I went back. So I have always thought of learning as a lifelong process. You're never too old to start something new or to go to college or trade school or find a different job, but always strive for something that really fulfills you. You want your job to be fulfilling, and teaching has been for me. Skills that I've needed. I'm really shy. Some of you might not think that, but I really have always been shy. I was an only child, and so I've had to push myself to interact with people, be in groups, stand up in front of groups and be confident. And that's just something you have to really work on if you don't have it in your personality to be outgoing. But you kids have so many opportunities. Don't cut yourself short. Do big dreams and achieve whatever you want. Thank you.